Of course, I was at Coachella 2010, and I couldn't wait to see Muse, and they came out, and they started with Uprising. And this crowd of, I don't know if it's 80,000 or 90,000, they went bananas. Everyone knew every word. At a festival, it can't be that intimate, but when Muse started, it felt intimate.
The plethora of dudes around me trying to hit the high notes, like Freddie Mercury, you know, like the Matt Bellamy, like, oh! Clearly not hitting them at all.
You know, during Starlight, there's that thing. Well, everybody around me is not sober. It's like a bunch of people swatting flies all over the place. The set just goes on, and they did this Nirvana cover into Nights of Sidonia, and faces started melting.
The great thing about Snoop and Dr. Dre was they were at a festival where you have bands from Muse and Mumford & Sons and the Black Keys, but they got just as much love, if not more. And then all of a sudden, Tupac comes out. But was it Tupac? It was a hologram of Tupac.
So when Tupac comes out, one girl to the left of me was like, I think the shrooms are kicking in because I think I see Tupac. And I couldn't see because there were so many people in front of me. And then so I'm just laughing at her. I'm like, huh, she's on drugs, whatever. Then I finally saw him with my own eyes right when they kicked into 2 of America's Most Wanted, and I'm like, that's pretty cool. Technology. Rage Against the Machine 2007. This was one of those years that no matter what you were doing, whether you could afford it or not, if you liked music at all, you had to be at Coachella because Rage Against the Machine is back.
It was so electric.
It was the highlight of the weekend.
Right when Killing in the Name of started, in retrospect, I should have worn a safety helmet and knee pads because it got brutal.
Lemonheads were playing on the smaller stage next to Rage Against the Machine. Who thought it was a good idea to put the Lemonheads next to Rage Against the Machine? There was a magical moment, and it doesn't happen often, but you know, there's a song like Wake Up. Even the bros who aren't into Arcade Fire, they know that song and they get all kind of like, you know. And just when I thought it couldn't get any better, we were pretty close to the front. Balls. Balls were everywhere. And not only were they everywhere, but they lit up. And they lit up to like the tone of the music.
One of those giant, huge white balls was in my bed the next morning.
The Black Keys last year, they did Everything Lonely Boy, which was really fun to watch everybody try to do that dance.
Partier of the year for 2012 last year, Patrick from the Black Keys. He spent 10 minutes talking about the party he threw in Palm Springs in a gated community, which got shut down at about 10 o'clock because there's so many old people in Cadillacs there, and they didn't like the noise Patrick was having.
Levon Helm from the band passed away, and you know, we're going to a music festival, and I was like, somebody's got to pay tribute. And the Black Keys, did they bring out John Fogerty? I think they did, and they did The Wait. Everybody was singing it.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mumford & Sons.
2011, Mumford & Sons playing Coachella, and we had a KROQ Coachella house, and they were nice enough to come by. And I remember that day in particular, it was like 114 degrees, and I'm not exaggerating on that.
So they show up to the KROQ Coachella house, and of course, they're pasty white guys, and they've just got the tiniest tank tops you could possibly find, you know, just these white pasty legs, just beating hot sun, like the sun was just punching them, just like, take this!
It seemed like they were on a break from their work weekend. They just let their hair down, was like, yeah, we're gonna play in this backyard here, and they just went nuts.
Once they started playing Little Lion Man, there were random strangers getting up and kind of like square dancing together. Nobody around me really knew Mumford & Sons then. They hadn't quite hit, but they just knew that they loved what they felt, and they danced. That was a perfect Coachella moment.
With my snake stuck in the ground, marking the territory of this, a newly impassioned soul.